Injari ka-October.
Angithi inkosi enkantolo ngiphinda ngacacisa ngithi umuntu engangimuzwa ilanguage ayikhuluma ngoMabhena. uMabhena ayikho ilanguage ayikhuluma ngoMabhena ngasho ukuthi ngumndebele mali isiZulu uyasazi sazwana naye nokukhuluma. Umuntu engangezwana ngokukhuluma sayitshena imkhana.
Like I said, my lord, Mr. Mabena was Ndebele speaking. However, we could communicate in Zulu. The only person whom it was difficult for us to communicate, it was Sergeant Mabena, Sergeant Mohane.
Ngoba ngisho sayitshena imkhana mayekhuluma ayitshena uMabhena ukuthi akangicacisele.
Because even himself, Sergeant Mohane, whenever he speaks, he would ask Sergeant Mabena to instruct me.
So who said something about injury October?
Ubani obekade ekhuluma nge-injury yango-October.
Nkosi enkantolo abathi mabemiso mina ngihlele phansi. uMabhena mekhuluma nosisi naye ekhuluma. Ngangihlale ngamuza uMabhena ukuthi uthini kusisi mina.
My lord, as I was seated and Mabena was speaking to the lady, there is no way that I could not have heard what he was saying.
So you heard what he was saying. I want to understand you.
Umuzwe lento lebekade ayisho.
Ngimuze ekhuluma ethi icela bacheckela ama-injury.
Yes.
Ukuthi ayikhona injury engayireport mina ngo-October. Phela ngiyizwe i-date ngezwanga ukuthi ayikhuluma ngayiphi i-date.
Yes, I heard him saying he is asking that they should check the injuries which I sustained in October, even though I did not hear which particular date did he refer to.
That was Sergeant Mabena.
Sergeant Mabena obekade ekhuluma lokho.
Bami bobabili athi uyakhuluma Mabhena lo methu liphinde ukukhulume nalo. Bami bobabili ngithi bamso.
As they were
Hayi
standing
ukuthi khona
together,
ohlele ekudeni khona ohlele kubami so.
they were sitting together, one next to the other, and when Sergeant Mabena speaks, and then the other one would also speak as well.
Were they speaking in Venek?
Bebakhuluma ngesintu.
Ngizosho njalo for iside laMabhena satshena imkhana ngimazi.
I would say on behalf of Sergeant Mabena, I do not know what language was Sergeant Mohane speaking.
So by extension of logic, the person that was speaking is Sergeant Mabena.
Kahle kahle uma sizwa kahle njengoba wechaza umuntu lo bekakhuluma bekade ku Sergeant Mabena.
Nkosi enkantolo abathi mabemiso bobabili bekhuluma nosisi bobabili. Nomunye ukhuluma okwakhe nolokhuluma ukuthi bebekhuluma yena ngibazi Nkosi enkantolo.
My lord, as these two people were standing together speaking to the lady on the counter, they were together speaking, but I do not know what exactly were they saying.
Okay. Now, after that conversation, what happened?
Ngemva kwaleyo nkulumo bayenzakalana.
Ulikhiphile usisi file Nkosi enkantolo.
The lady produced the file.
Ngahlala ke phansi mina ngalokhu bemile bekhuluma na bechecka ke lento abayicheckayo. Ngambona banika amaphepha saphuma sahamba. Masifika ngaphandle ke phandle kwegesi sibeka khona emoto. Bakhuluma nefoni bona.
And I sat down and she later gave them documents and then we left and we went outside. Then they spoke on the phone.
Lesikhathi sekufika ubaba uGininda noSayitsheni umholi.
And that is when Brigadier Gininda and Sergeant Mohola arrived.
Mabefika lapho futhi bamabodwa lapho nangisemotweni phakathi kubukiwa lamaphepha la.
As they arrived, then they had a caucus and I was inside the vehicle.
Lesi sikhathi kuGininda ke seza kimi ezongisabisa ezongitshela manje akafuna ukukhuluma iqiniso ngibuthi liphi iqiniso ngizolikhuluma.
And that is when Gininda came to me to threaten me, asking me if I still do not want to tell the truth, and I asked him which truth is he referring to.
Mayeqeda lapho Nkosi enkantolo futhi ubaba uGininda lamaphepha wangena yena yedwa ngaphakathi le. Bashiyeka bekhanda bemla umkhane noSergeant Mabena nomama umholi.
And then Brigadier Gininda went inside with those documents and I was left with Sergeant Mabena, Sergeant Mohane and Sergeant Mohola.
Wabuya futhi.
Then he came back.
Mr. Ntanzi, just slow down a bit so that my colleague can be able to take notes as well.
Uthi ungajahi
Yeah.
ukuze bakwazi ukubhala ama-notes.
Yeah, Nkosi.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, after Gininda went inside, what happened next?
Ngemva kokuthi uGininda abuye aye ngaphakathi kwenzakeleni,
Uphindile bakhuluma bodwa ngithi lapha Nkosi enkantolo.
he came back and they had a caucus once more,
Bebuka wona lamaphepha la sesibhedlela.
looking at
Lawe
those
waphethe.
documents that they had from the hospital.
waphinda futhi weza la kimi la emotweni alontsheti namanje angafuna ukumtshela iqiniso lokhu ngimtshela ukuthi live iqiniso ngizolikhuluma.
He again came to me by the car and asked me if I still do not want to tell the truth, and I asked him which truth is he referring to.
Ngoba namanje ngisasho ukuthi uma ngingekho emsebenzini ngisuke ngisekhaya.
And even now I still repeat that if I am not at work, I would then be at home.
Okay, let's pause there. Let me ask you some few questions there. You said he threatened you. How did he do that?
Uthe uye wakuthusela. Ukuthusele kanjani?
Mawuzongikhomba ngomunwe emehlweni sokungithusela Nkosi enkantolo mangizothi namanje awufuna ukukhuluma iqiniso usuke ungisabisa.
When you're pointing at me with a finger towards my eyes, and the witness just demonstrated pointing at the interpreter towards the eyes, and he says by that he's being threatened.
Was that fact that he pointed you with a finger on your face put to Brigadier Gininda?
Lolu daba lokuthi uye wakhomba ngomunwe esweni uye watshelwa na uBrigadier Gininda ngalesikhathi ephana ngobufakazi la?
Ngiyethemba wayekhuluma nobaba uMngomezulu ngoba nami ngabe ngathi ngizoza lapha ngizokhuluma phambi ngitshela inkantolo into eyenzeka kimi.
I believe he was speaking to Mr. Mngomezulu, as I knew that I would also come and testify.
So, but Mr. Mngomezulu was speaking on your behalf.
Kodwa umnumzana uMngomezulu angithi wayekade ekhulumela wena.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo manje ngisasho ukuthi uMngomezulu nguye wazi ukuthi ukhuluma kanjani nenkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my lord, and I am still stating that Mr. Mngomezulu is the one that knows how to address the court.
I put it to you, sir, that you are adjusting your version as we go along with this testimony.
Uthi uyakutshela umshushisi ukuthi wena lolu daba lwakho uyalulungisa njengoba silibele siqhubeka.
Ngoba kusho yena Nkosi enkantolo angazi.
That is what you are saying. I do not know, my lord.
That is total fabrication.
Uthi leyo nto yinto ekuthi uyaziqambela.
Liqiniso lelo Nkosi enkantolo.
This is the truth, my lord.
Gininda testified in this court that when he spoke to you, you made what looked to him like you were making admissions.
Uthi uGininda ngalesikhathi ekhuluma nawe yena uye wakhuluma nawe wena kwabonakala ukuthi lezi zinto ozikhulumayo yingathi wena uyavuma into ezithize.
Iphutha elikhulu lelo Nkosi enkantolo.
That's a big mistake, my lord.
Waye ngangeke ngishawe mhlawumbe sasikhuluma kahle. Ngabe inkosi enkantolo angitshenanga ukuthi ngishayiwe mina mhlawumbe sasikhuluma kahle.
I wouldn't have been assaulted if we had a civil communication.
And it was at that stage that when he stopped you and then he warned you in terms of the constitution.
Uthi ke kulayi ukuthi uye wakumisa njengoba bekabona ukuthi lezi zinto ozikhulumayo izinto ukuthi wena uyavuma. Kulayi ukuthi wakucebisa futhi nangamalungelo wakho ukuya ngomthetho sisekelo.
Akulona iqiniso lelo Nkosi enkantolo.
That is incorrect, my lord.
Ukube mhlambe wayengicebisa ngamalungelo or mhlambe ngasazivumela wangeka ngikhombe ngomunwe emehlweni. Ethi namanje angifuna ukumtshela iqiniso kwengikhomba ngomunwe emehlweni.
If he had warned me with my rights, then it would not be necessary that he point me with a finger on my eyes.
And then I'm just giving you a summary of what transpired there with Brigadier Gininda, and that is when he then decided to then arrange for a formal confession to be taken from you.
Uthi kulayi ukuthi yena uye waqhubeka ke eyenza ezama ukuthi akutholele umuntu lobo kade uzogonyoloka kuye.
Kusho yena Nkosi enkantolo akusho ngomina.
That is what he said. That is not what I said.
Furthermore, he testified before this court that he also showed you a sketch of a person wearing a hoodie.
Uthi futhi uye wakubonisa umdwebo womuntu obekade efake ihudi.
Iphutha lelo Nkosi enkantolo.
That is a mistake, my lord.
Isithombe angikhombese sona lesi sithombe engisikhombela mina.
The picture which he showed me, it's a picture which I pointed on the screen.
Leso ayethi ngesanga.
That's the one which he said it was my picture.
So that picture referring to it was disallowed in court as those proceedings are not part of the trial within a trial.
Uthi leso sithombe ke asizange sivunywe la enkantolo ngoba leyo akusiyona ingxenye yalesi sigaba esikuyo esibizwa i-trial within a trial.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my lord.
So he never showed you that sketch.
Shukuthi wena uthi akazange akubonise lowo mfanekiso.
Azange ngibonise Nkosi enkantolo ngisibona ngoba sezivezwa lami.
He never showed me that sketch. I only saw it when it was shown on the screen.
So that was the first time you saw that particular sketch.
Wawukade uqala ukubona lowo mfanekiso.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo la phambi kwayo Nkosi enkantolo.
That is correct, and that was right here in court.
And how was the communication between you and Guninda? Was it good, fair, poor?
Manje wena no Gininda nanikade nikhulumisana kanjani inkulumo yenu yayikade ilungile noma kweyikade injani?
Angazi Nkosi enkantolo kusho ukulunga kanjani umuntu mayezongikhomba ngomunye emehleni angivulela amehla angazi.
I do not know, my lord, how will I describe it when a person is pointing at me on my face and he's opening his eyes.
In terms of communication, language barrier, would you say you could understand Brigadier Guninda?
Uthi inkulumo nanikade nizwana ngalesikhathi nizobe nikhuluma.
Ulimi lelikhuluma Nkosi enkantolo.
Are you referring to the language?
Yes.
Uthi yebo.
Yebo ngangimuzwa wayekhuluma isiZulu.
Yes, our communication was good as he was speaking Zulu.
So even at the time when he warned you in terms of the constitution,
Nangalesikhathi ezabe ekucebisa ngamalungelo wakho ukuya ngomthetho sisekelo.
Azange ngicebise Nkosi enkantolo ngamalungelo.
He never warned me.
you never heard him saying that you've got a right to remain silent.
Awuzange umuzwe athi unelungelo lokuthula.
Cha Nkosi enkantolo azange ngimuzwe.
No, I did not hear him.
You have a right to a legal representative.
Ilungelo lokuthi wawukade unelungelo lokuba nommeli.
Ngiqala ukuzwa la ngaye nje.
I only heard it right here in court.
Okay. Let us proceed now.
Asiqhubeke.
From that time when you spoke to Brigadier Guninda, what happened?
Kusukela ngaleso sikhathi ukhuluma naye uBrigadier Gininda bese kwayenzakalani?
Uhambile lapha Nkosi enkantolo wasishiya.
He left us at that place,
Ngaphandle kwegate asasemkhona eCartonville.
outside the gate whilst we were still in Carltonville.
Tell me, when Brigadier Guninda spoke to you, was he inside or outside the vehicle?
Ngalesikhathi ekhuluma nawe wayekade engaphakathi noma wayekade engaphandle kwemoto?
Ungaphandle Nkosi enkantolo ngoba mina ngihleli la kwiFortuna ngedeni uvula umnyango so ungaphandle la kwa left wami ngoba imoto mayimimi ibuka igate ulibuka so yena ungapha ngaphandle futhi wavula isivalo wakhuluma nami nangihleli la phakathi emontweni.
He was outside the vehicle, my lord, as I was seated inside the vehicle. He came and opened the door and he spoke from outside.
Okay. Now proceed from the stage when he left.
Asiqhubeke ke kusukela la bekade esekahamba yena.
Uhambile Nkosi enkantolo ngangamazi phela ukuthi uyakuphi mina yena.
He left and I did not know where did he go to.
And then he also testified that when he spoke to you, it was only the two of you only. He excused the other members that were there.
Uthe yena ngalesikhathi ekhuluma nawe kwakade kusele nina nobabini laba abanye wayekade ebaxoshile.
Iphutha lelo Nkosi enkantolo.
That is incorrect, my lord.
What is incorrect?
Yini le ekuyiphutha?
Lokuthi ngalesikhathi ekhuluma nami sasebabele angani babe khona bemile khona lapha abantu.
The fact that he spoke to me, only myself and him, there were other police officers nearby.
Were they there in that vehicle or they were just nearby in the vehicle? Other vehicle?
Kuleyo moto noma bebakhona eduze lapha.
Nkosi enkantolo imoto zimiso zibuka igate. Bame khona la phakathi kwemoto kuyile moto bamemba ngakuyileke bakhona khona la.
My lord, the vehicles were parked adjacent to each other, facing the gate, and they were standing right next to the vehicles as I was inside the other vehicle.
Guninda testified before this court that he excused those members so that he can have a private conversation with you. What is your comment?
Uthi yena uGininda la enkantolo uye wathi labayana abanye basuke ukuze azokwazi ukukhuluma nawe wena uthi ngalo.
Akulona iqiniso Nkosi enkantolo.
That is incorrect, my lord.
Now, Gininda left. Now, who are you left with?
Manje mase sekahambile uGininda wena bese ususele nobani?
Ngishiye noSergeant Mabhena noSergeant Mkhani Nkosi enkantolo.
Sergeant Mabena and Sergeant Mkhani, my lord.
Did you leave at any stage?
Sikhona isikhathi la ukuthi niye nahamba khona.
Sihambile emveni kwesikhathi ade bemla phandla ngithi bekhuluma nefoni ngithi bona.
We had left after the time when they had spoken on the phone,
Mabeqeda ukukhuluma nefoni bangena emotweni esase sihamba nje.
and after that conversation on the phone, that's when they got into the vehicle and we left.
Lesi sikhathi ke ngibeza bekhuluma ngefoni esengibuza ke ne uMabhena ukuthi indlela eRustenburg la ikuphi uthi mina ngibona ukuthi indlela eRustenburg ikuphi la ngeke ngikhombe.
And that's when I overheard the conversation on the phone, and Mabena asked me which is the road to Rustenburg, and I said I do not know the road to Rustenburg from here,
Ngoba umuntu wayekhuluma la ngangimoza ebuza ukuthi benze njani ngalomuntu.
because the person that he was speaking to, I overheard that person asking what are they supposed to do with this particular person.
Will you agree with me that at that stage, if I were to accept your version, you did not know who he was talking to?
Uma ingabe umshushisi engathatha lento ewekhuluma manje, wena bongazi ukuthi wayekade ekhuluma nobani uMabena.
Napha ngichazela Nkosi enkantolo ngangishilo ukuthi angimazi umuntu wayekhuluma naye ngefoni. Ngangizwa mina mayephendula yena uMabhena ethi senze njani wena ukhuluma ngefoni.
I have also stated that I did not know who Mabena was speaking to. I only overheard over the phone that what should we do with this person.
And then what was your understanding of that statement?
Wena uye wazwisisa ini ngaleyo nto ayishoyo ukuthi senzeni ngalomuntu, uzwisise ini ngalokho?
Nkosi enkantolo angithi mangi-answer ifoni ngikhuluma la. Ngeke ngihlale mina ngayizwa inkulumo ephuma kuloyo nhle naye emotweni ngoba ukhuluma ubhekisa kuloyo engingamuzwa yiloyo ukuthi uthini kuMabhena.
My lord, when a person speaks on the phone, I would be able to overhear him, but I would not be able to hear the person on the other side of the call.
Ngoba ifoni kube mhlambe ayiround speaker ngangizoza manje angizwanga ukuthi wayethini lo wayekhuluma nami. Mina ngangizwa yena mayephendula lo muntu amphendulayo.
And if the phone was on loudspeaker, that's when I would be able to hear the whole conversation.
Mr. Bongani Ntanzi, listen to the interpreter and answer to the question as
Okay.
they are put.
Uthi umshushisi ulalele into engikutolikela yona, bese wena uphendula umbuzo njengoba ikuthi ubuzwa ngakho.
If you do not understand, ask the question to be repeated. Simple as that.
Uma ungazwisisi, cela ukuthi umbuzo uphindwe. Ilula kanjani?
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo.
Understood, my lord?
So my question is, what was your understanding or interpretation of the statement as you overheard Mabena asking, what must we do with this person?
Uthi umshushisi, wena uye wazwisisa ini uma uMabhena ethi kulo yamuntu osecingweni siyenzeni ngalomuntu, wena yini into ewizwisisile khona lapho?
Angizwanga Nkosi enkantolo impendulo yomuntu la ekhuluma naye.
I did not hear the response of that person, my lord.
Again, Mr. Ntanzi, listen to the interpreter. My question is, how did you interpret the answer that Mabena gave to that person he was talking to over the phone, that what must we do with this person?
Uthi futhi ucela ungilalele. uMabhena mayethi kulo yamuntu ocingweni senzeni ngalomuntu, yini into ewena uye wayizwisisa uma kuthiwa leli gama senzeni ngalomuntu, yini into uye wayizwisisa, into uye wayiqonda khona la?
Ngomcabango wami or
Are you referring to according to my thinking, my
No.
understanding?
Let us proceed from that point, since they don't want to answer. Now,
Siye ke lona.
what happened after that telephonic conversation?
Kwenzakalani ke ngemva kwaleyo nkulumo yocingo?
saqhubeka sahamba Nkosi enkantolo.
We proceeded and left.
Where did you go?
Nayapi?
Angazi ukuthi kwakiwa.
I do not know where were we going.
And then where did you arrive?
nifike kuphi?
lapho esafika khona ngayibona nje imoto nesime egarage
I just saw the vehicle stopping at the garage.
It was put to Sergeant Mahani, that at that stage when they asked the direction to Rustenburg, you said you thought they were taking you back home.
Uthi uSergeant Mohani ke uye watshelwa ngalesikhathi ela enkantolo ukuthi ithe mababuza indlela eya eRustenburg wena wawukade ucabanga ukuthi bakubuyisela ekhaya.
yebo nkosi enkantolo ngangicabanga kanjalo ukuthi ngibuyisela back emuva
Yes, my lord, I had thought that they were taking me back.
But I've been asking you that question for the past 3 minutes.
Uthi ulibele ekubuza wona lo mbuzo imizuzu emithathu edlulile.
yebo nkosi enkantolo ngese
Yes, my lord, I hear that.
Okay, let us proceed now.
Siqhubeke ke futhi.
You proceed now next to a garage.
Siqhubeke ke manje seseduze kwase garage.
yebo nkosi enkantolo
Yes, my lord.
And then you indicated that you do not know that area.
Uthe leyo ndawo awuyazi.
angilazi igoli vele nkosi enkantolo
I do not know Gauteng, my lord.
So what makes you think that area was Gauteng?
Yini into ecabangisa ekwenza ucabanga ukuthi leya ndawo yayikade seGoli?
nkosi enkantolo yenze ukuthi ngicabanga ukuthi indawo yasegoli angithi ifemu le ngibona ukuthi amafemu asegoli kunefemu engapha enkulu ngathi amafemu asegoli mangisuka ekhaya vele sindlula khona ngemoto mangihamba ngiza ngapha ko-Northwestern.
My lord, I assumed that that place was in Gauteng because that particular firm, we normally pass through that company when we come from home.
What is the name of that place? you're
Yini
referring
gama la
to?
leyo ndawo?
angilazi igama lakhona
I do not know the name of the place.
And then you spoke about the filling station. What is the name of the filling station?
Ukhulume ngegarage, yini gama la leyo garage?
igaraji athi mase sesipakile ngiyayibona ibhalwe engine garage mangingaphosisi
As we had now parked the vehicle, I saw that it was written engine garage, if I am not mistaken.
So you're able to read.
Kusho ukuthi wena uyakwazi ukufunda.
angeke nkosi enkantolo ngihlule igama engine garage mina
It would not be
isilungu
difficult.
kuphela engingasazi
It would not be difficult for me to read the name engine. It's only English that I do not know.
And you're able to read a board written Albertine.
Neboard ebekade ibhalwe Albertine uye wakwazi ukuyifunda.
nkosi enkantolo imoto mayihamba ngithi ngiyabuka ebehamba khona
My lord, as the vehicle is driving, I look around.
And then you saw a board written Albertine.
Wabona iboard ebhalwe Albert.
yebo nkosi enkantolo ngayibona
Yes, my lord, I saw it.
And those are not words in vernac.
Akuse amazwi abhalwe ngesintu la.
nkosi enkantolo noma ngingathatha u-albertine ngoswezulwini angeke ngiwuchaze ngesizulu
My lord, even if I am to interpret Albertine from English to Zulu, I would not be able to do so.
I'm not asking you to interpret Albertine. I'm saying if you can read Albertine, then you're able to read an English word.
Uthi akathi umthathu Albertine umise esizulwini, yena uthi nje uma ingabe uyakwazi ukufunda Albertine, kusho ukuthi uyakwazi ukufunda isiNgisi.
angivumelani nkosi enkantolo lokho akushoyo
I do not agree with what you are saying.
And I further put it to you that Exhibit LL1 is in English. You were able to read the contents of that document.
Uthi futhi uyacebisa ukuthi ubufakazi buka LL1 bubhalwe ngesingesi ukuthi wena wawukade ukwazi ukufunda lokho.
iphutha nkosi enkantolo lona iqiniso
That is incorrect, my lord.
Now let us proceed. Do you know what time you arrive at that particular place,
Uyazi ukuthi nafika ngobani?
the filling station?
Laphayana egarage.
cha nkosi enkantolo isikhathi hayi angisazi
No, my lord, I do not know what time did we arrive.
Would you say it was in the morning, it was during the day, the afternoon, it was in the evening?
Bekusemini, bekusekuseni, kwasesekuhlwile.
angeke ngikwazi nkosi enkantolo umeshini isikhathi kodwa khona ngoba ilanga lalishesha lishone angisazi isikhathi ukuthi wakubani
My Lord, I would not
kodwa
be
khona
able.
sekulate
I would not be able to specify at what time was it because the sun set a bit earlier. However, it was late.
Was it already dark?
Bese sekuhlwile kumnyama.
ngasho khona ukuthi kwasekuqala ukuba so ukuba mnyama kwasekumnyama nyana mshomo not kakhulu
I could say it was now starting to become dark, even though it was not that much dark.
So it was in the evening getting darker. Is that what you are saying?
Sekuba mnyama. Sekuntambama.
ngasho sekutambama phela ilanga akufani ukushona kwelanga uma kusebusika nalapho uma kusehlobo
Yes, my Lord, it would not be the same as it was in summer when the sun sets.
And then the AVL report indicates that the location is at Albertine near Mali Street.
Uthike ubufakazi bayo iAVL buyona ithi nanikade niseduze komgwaqo uMali eAlbert.
yebo nkosi enkantolo
Yes, my Lord.
And then that
I
is
am
the
listening.
area you arrived at.
Uthi yona indawo enifike kuyo.
yebo ngiyazwa
Yes, I am listening.
And can you confirm that you were still inside that Fortuna?
Ungavuma ukuthi wawukade ungazi usase phakathi kuleyo Fortuna.
angazi ngoba isikhathi ngangasiboni nkosi enkantolo kuba isikhathi ngangisibona ngingasho ukuthi yebo
I do not know, as I was not able to see the time. If I would have seen the time, I would say yes.
You know, Mr. Ntanzi, if I was able to shout, I'll end up shouting at you. Wait for the interpreter to interpret and answer the question as I've posed it. If you don't want to answer, just say so.
Uthi umshushisi kube bekakwazi ukuthi akuthethise bekazokuthethisa. Ucela ungilalele mina njengoba ngikutolikela bese uphendula lokho engikutolikayo. Uma ingabe ungafuni ukuphendula usho ukuthi awufuni ukuphendula.
yebo nkosi enkantolo
Yes, my Lord.
Why are you doing that? Why are you not answering questions?
Uthi kungani ungaphendula imibuzo?
Is there any question to this?
I'm not badgering a witness. The witness simply does not want to answer to the questions as put to him. He answers a total different thing. So I want to understand that does he not understand the questions as I've posed them? Is there somewhere the interpreter is not interpreting correctly? I want to understand.
Uthi umshushisi ufuna ukwazi ukuthi awuzwisisi imibuzo uma ekubuza noma mhlawumbe mina mangokutolikela kunala ngingatolikanga kahle na.
ukuthi bengezwanga kahle methi ngangisesemotweni ngithi isikhathi ngangasathi emotweni kuleya iFortuna ngiphume ngayiphi ngangena emotweni ngiphume ngasiphi isikhathi emotweni eFortuna ngangena kwesinye ngangeniswa kwi-GTI khona egarage ukuwe mhlambe bengicacisele bengizohlala epointini straight.
Maybe if the state would then explain to me, because I did not understand when the state asked me regarding the time. I'm not sure at what time was I moved from the Fortuna into the Golf 7. If the question was clear, then I would be able to answer.
My question to you is that, were you inside that particular vehicle, meaning the Toyota Fortuna? I didn't ask you about times.
Umbuzo kamshushisi uthi wawukade usase phakathi kuleyo moto uchaza yona iToyota Fortuna uthi akakubuzanga ngesikhathi.
angazi nkosi enkantolo
I do not know, my Lord.
Is that the best answer you want to give?
Yona impendulo ofuna ukuyiphana ngayo.
Okay, let us proceed.
uthi nalapho asiqhubeke.
According to the AVL report, the Toyota Fortuner, that now you are not sure whether you were inside or not, it went off at 18:53 and 54 seconds near Mali Street, Fairwood Park, Albertine.
Uthi ke umshushisi le moto le bekade wena ungasenaso isiqiniseko sokuthi wawukade usasekuyo noma cha, iToyota Fortuner yona iye yacinywa uma kusele imizuzu eyisikhombisa ngaphambi kwehora lesikhombisa usidlo.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my lord.
And then it spent some quite of time there.
Yona yama ke isikhathi esithize khona lapho.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my lord.
And according to Sergeant Mokhane, it was due to a mechanical failure or mechanical breakdown.
Ukuya ngoSergeant Mokhane uthi leyo moto yayikade isimoshekile. Ibekade inenkinga imoshekile.
Cha Nkosi enkantolo kulona iqiniso le.
That is incorrect, my lord.
Why are you saying that?
Bungani uthi akulona iqiniso le?
Akaze ngibone Nkosi enkantolo le moto ikhenikwa futhi akaze ngibone ivuliwe la ngaphambili.
I did not see that motor vehicle being fixed, and I've never even saw it being opened on the bonnet.
And then he further testified that because he was transporting a suspect, he requested to be assisted by members of SWAT.
Uthi futhi yena ngoba wayekade enomsolwa emotweni uye wacela ke ukuthi asizwe yilaba abasebenza kweSWAT.
Angeke Nkosi enkantolo ngikwazi ukuphendula lo mkhane.
I would not be able to respond on Mr. Mokhane's behalf.
Yes, you're not responding on his behalf, Mr. Ntanzi. You were there as well. What is your comment?
Uthi yebo awuphenduleli uMokhane nawe wawukade ukhona wena uphawula uthini ngalelo daba.
Nkosi enkantolo bangithi ngikwazi ukuphendula umkhane. Angimzwanga bafonela ngimzwanga ekhuluma nabo.
As I am saying, I am unable to respond on his behalf, my lord, is because I never heard him speaking, contacting them, neither did I hear him speaking to the SWAT team.
And then he further testified that at some stage he did get assistance, and then the vehicle managed to be fixed, and then they moved from that particular area.
Uthi ke yena uMr Mkhane uye wathi kunesikhathi la eye wathola usizo ke imoto yalungiswa yasuka ke kuleyo ndawo.
Hayi Nkosi enkantolo ngiqala ukuzwa ngaye mina lametshe Nkosi enkantolo.
I firstly heard that here in court, my lord, when he was testifying.
So in your version, what happened there?
Manje ukuya ngawe kwenzakeleni khona lapha.
Nkosi enkantolo masifika lapha egarage lapha.
My lord, when we arrived at the garage,
Kufike imoto oqala iGTI.
there is a GTI that arrived,
Emveni kwayo kwaqhamuka iHalbord Nissan.
and after that a hard body Nissan arrived.
iGTI yama yaqondana nayo iFortuner so ngwaze ngashiyene kakhulu.
The GTI then turned and faced the Fortuner,
iHalbord njengemuva kancane so.
and the hard body was behind the Fortuner.
Mabefika lapho behla bakhanda meeting lapha bodwa.
When they arrived, then they had a caucus on their own.
Mapena wangikhipha ngifaka emotweni leGTI.
Mabena took me out of the Fortuner and placed me inside the GTI.
Okay, let's pause there. You'll get back to that.
Similar.
Where this vehicle parked, was it inside that filling station?
La imoto zipake khona kwakade kuphakathi ejardini lase garage.
Yebo le kuma parking le emuva le.
Yes, however it was towards the parking bay.
Yes, proceed.
Qhubeka ke.
lapho kunamatafula khona ngathi nje mawehlalele udla nokudla khona.
where there are tables where people would be sitting and eating.
Azange ngibone mina imoto le ikhenikwa futhi azange ngibone ihamba yayimi nje khona la bengifaka emotweni ngifaka uplastic ekhanda uMabhena no Jonathan bengihlukumeza noButhelezi lokho imikhona lapho nje imoto ngosenkantolo.
And I have never seen that motor vehicle being fixed. Neither did I see it moving from that place. I was put a plastic on my head and being tortured by Mabena and Jonathan.
Yebo. Ngesikhathi bengipresena ngesitulo semoto.
And at the time they had also pressed me with the vehicle chair.
Were there people around that area?
Kwakade kunabantu eduze kwaleyo ndawo.
Lapha sasimkhona sasimle khoneni kwakuyindawo njengathi eko izipake nje lapha. Angazi ngapha ngemuva ngaphela mina ngisemotweni angithi angibuke phandle isikhathi esiningi.
Where we were, my lord, it was at a corner. I do not know on the other side of the garage if there were other people, but I was not looking. I was only focusing inside what was happening in the car.
So, as they were tubing you, did you scream?
Njengoba bebakade bekufakele ya plastic ekhanda uye wamemeza.
Noma ngamemeza ngosenkantolo ngeke bengizwe kuvala umnyango ngosenkantolo. Plastic ngeke.
Even if I had screamed, my lord, no one would be able to hear me because I was being tubed with a plastic.
Did you scream? Yes or not?
Uye wamemeza na yebo.
Ngosenkantolo bengikhala ngosenkantolo.
I was crying, my lord.
Ngobe ngizama nokuphakama nokuphakama ngathi ngiyaphezulu isitulo singifasile.
Because I also tried standing up, but the chair had locked me out.
NoButhelezi ngapha umpresile ukuthi ngingakhona ukuya le ngaphandle.
And Buthelezi also pressed me so that I would not be able to go outside.
So the fact that you were screaming, did you hear your legal representative putting it across to Mohani that at some stage you were screaming?
Le ndaba leyo ukuthi wena wawukade umemeza uye wezwa na ummeli wakho etshela uMohane ukuthi wena wawukade umemeza?
Azange ngibuza umhana nto umhana akaze ngebe azaza sondela lapha engangishaba khona umhana yele emotweni.
He did not ask Mohane that question because Mohane did not come closer to where I was being assaulted. Mohane was on the other side of the vehicle.
And then Jonathan?
Jonathan yena?
Angithi Jonathan yena umuntu engangifesene naye so eguqe ngamadolo emotweni sibukana so ebuka mina ngibuka yena.
Jonathan is the person that I was faced with. He had kneeled inside the vehicle and we were facing each other.
Was the message put across to him that you were screaming?
Naye baye bamtshela nawo ukuthi wawukade umemeza njengoba bekala enkantolo Jonathan.
Angazi noma baba uMngomezulu wamtshena.
I do not know if Mr. Mngomezulu told him.
Did you hear that part of evidence here once you were seated there at the dock?
Wena njengoba wakade uhleli lapha uye wayizwa leyo ndaba na itolikwa noma mhlawumbe ibuzwa?
Cha ngosenkantolo ngisakhumbula.
No, my lord, I do not remember.
Then let us proceed.
Uthi asiqhubeke.
Who were inside that particular car that you claim you were assaulted?
Ubani omunye wayekade ephakathi kule moto le wena uthi wawukade ushawa kuyo?
Ngithe phakathi emotweni ngosenkantolo kwakuJonathan. Lona omunye anilazi igama lakhe ngoba azange ngibone ngisho iface ngoba wayefake imask le enza so.
I said inside the vehicle it was Jonathan, and the other one whom was in the motor vehicle, I did not know his name, as he had also worn a mask.
Ngathi longa wayekimi la kwakuMabhena loyelanga ngemva left.
And the one that was on my left was Mabena.
Okay.
Ubutheleze la phandle kwayena umuntu oyimpress mangithi ngizama ukuphuma angishovele phakathi.
And Buthelezi was outside the vehicle pressing me. When I'm trying to go out of the vehicle, he would press me inside.
Do you know how long did this assault last?
Uyazi ukuthi lokhu kushawa lokhu kuthathe isikhathi esingakanani?
angeke ngikwazi inkosi enkantolo ngumeshini isikhathi.
I would not be able to mention the time.
Could you say it was 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hours?
Ungathi mhlawumbe kwakade kuyimizuzu emashumi amathathu, ihora, mahora amabini.
Cha inkosi enkantolo angeke ngikwazi ukuchaza isikhathi, ngoba isikhathi namanje lokhu ngimlapha kaze ngikhulume ngesikhathi.
No, my Lord, I would not be able to estimate the time, as since I have been testifying, I never said anything about time.
So you are still inside that GTI. Did you at any stage go back to that Toyota Fortuner?
Manje wawukade usasengaphakathi kuleya GTI angithi sikhona isikhathi la uye wabuyela kuleya Toyota Fortune.
Bangikhiphe kwi-GTI inkosi enkantolo sebeqedile ukungisho bese ngibuyela ngapha uMabhena futhi wangivulela futhi wangifaka lapha emotweni phakathi iFortune.
I was taken out of the GTI after I have been choked, as Mabena took me back into the Toyota Fortuner, my Lord.
It was initially put, I'm using the word initially very carefully, to Mukhane, that which you are telling the court, it happened on the date where the confession was made to Colonel Rapadu in the morning of the 19th of June 2020.
Uthi ke umshushisi kuye kwatshelwa umnumzana uMukhani ukuthi lento osanda kuyisho manje yinto eyayenzakala ekseni nge-19 zika June ngaphambi kokuthi uye lapha yana ku Colonel Rapadu uyogunyuluka.
Sicela ungiphendela futhi.
Uthi umshushisi lento oqeda ukuyisho manje iye yatshelwa uMukhani, kusho ukuthi yatshelwa utshelwe ummeli wakho ukuthi wena uchubiwa wafaka kwi-GTI ngalesikhathi usanda kuyisiwa ku-Colonel Rapadu ekuseni.
Inkosi enkantolo mina ngishawe ebusuku
My Lord,
nge-18.
I was assaulted on the 18th at night.
And that was before the AVL report was presented before this honorable court.
Futhi logo kwatshelwa uMukhani ngaphambi kokuthi kukhishwe lobufakazi be-AVL.
Inkosi enkantolo angeke ngikwazi ukuphendula uMngomezulu ngoba ubaba uMngomezulu ngasho lapha ngishilo lapha phambi kwenkosi enkantolo mina straight ukuthi Z18 Z19 Z24. So lama phepha akhuluma ngawo umshushisi mina ngeke ngikwazi ukwaphendulela la.
My Lord, I would not be able to testify on behalf of Mr. Mngomezulu or speak on his behalf, as I have stated before court that it was the 18th, the 19th, and the 24th. What the state is referring to, I do not know.
So the version that was presented before the AVL report, you are now distancing yourself from it.
Manje into le eyakhulunywa ukuthi wena uthi kwenzakele kanjena nge-18 ngaphambi kokuthi kulethwe ubufakazi lobu be-AVL, wena usuyaziqhezukisa phambi kwabo lobo bufakazi.
Inkosi enkantolo angeke ngiphendulele ubaba uMngomezulu. Ubaba uMngomezulu nguye ozokwazi ukukhuluma nenkosi enkantolo.
My Lord, I would not be able to respond on behalf of Mr. Mngomezulu, as he's the one that would be able to address the court.
So in short, I want to get your comment. That was not your version.
Ngamafuphi uthi umshushisi ucela ukuthi uphawule. Kusho ukuthi lokho obukade umnumzana uMngomezulu akusho akusiyona into ewena wawukade umtsheleka.
Inkosi enkantolo angeke ngiphendule ubaba uMngomezulu.
My Lord, I would not be able to respond on his behalf.
That question is directed to you, sir.
Umshushisi uthi lo mbuzo uqondane nawe.
Ngoba ziningi baba inkosi enkantolo izinto engisikhuluma nobaba uMngomezulu.
As there are a lot of things that I am speaking to Mr. Mngomezulu.
Now I am being specific. I'm talking about the incident that he put as your version on the 18th or the 19th of June there at the garage.
Manje umshushisi uthi usekaqondane nawe ekubuza ngale ndaba yange 18 ne-19 ubufakazi ukuthi umnumzana uMngomezulu ubekade ebuza abofakazi ngakho ethi wena uthe kwenzakele nge-18 nange-19.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo ngoba babe ngishaya.
Yes, my lord, as they were assaulting me.
I'm not asking you that, sir. I'm not asking you whether they were assaulting you or not. I'm saying what was put to the witnesses regarding that incident on your way to Morocco. It cannot be your version. I want your comment on that.
Uthi akakubuzi ngalo ludaba olukhulumayo wena lokushawa. Uthi yena le ndaba le eyatshelwa abofakazi ukuthi nge-18 endleleni niya eMoroka kwenzakeleni leyo akusiyinto wena wawukade utshele umnumzana uMngomezulu.
Cha, eMoroka Nkosi enkantolo ngiyanga nge-18 mina.
No, my lord, I did not go to Morocco on the 18th.
Take it a step further. That version was presented as if you were on your way to Morocco.
Uthi futhi asithathe siyise phambili. Uthi umshushisi leyo ndaba iye yabekwa ingathi nanikade nisendleleni niya eMoroka.
Angikhumbuli Nkosi enkantolo nami ngumuntu ngiyakhohlwa mangisuke ngihlela ebhokisini angikhumbuli.
I do not remember, my lord. I am also a person. I forget as I am in the witness stand or sitting by the accused door.
Okay, let's stop there. So you are a human being, you also forget.
Uthi asime lapho ungumuntu uyakhohlwa ngisho.
Yebo.
Yes.
So it's possible that you forgot the incident as I have placed regarding your rights. When your rights were read to you, you might have forgotten that part, that the rights were told to you, you just forgot because you are human.
Uthi njengoba usanda kusho njengoba naye bekade eshilo ukuthi amaphoyisa wayekade ekutshelile amalungelo wakho njengoba uwumuntu ukhohlwa kungenzeka ukuthi nalokho ukukhohliwe.
Angivumelana lokho Nkosi enkantolo.
I dispute that, my lord.
But now you are contradicting yourself.
Manje usuyazi bhidakanisa ke manje.
Cha ngisibhidana Nkosi enkantolo ngoba la uMngomezulu mekhuluma ne-witness. Ngiyezwa kwesikhathi kubuye ngezwe ukuthi kuthiwa noma interpreter engangitolikela utolike kodwa khona lapha engizwa khona kwabe ngibuye ngezwe khona kahle Nkosi enkantolo. Ngeke lokho ngiphakamisa isandla ngithi angizwanga la Nkosi enkantolo.
I'm not contradicting myself, my lord, as some of the things I do hear and some I do not hear. Even when they are interpreted, there are things that I would hear and others I would not hear, and I would not be raising my hand time and again and saying I heard this part, I did not hear some other parts.
But I've seen your attorneys on several occasions. Before we start these proceedings, they will be there right next to you with papers, writing your instructions that you must carry to the court.
Uthi kodwa umshushisi unokubona abameli bakho bobabini benokuya laphayana kuwena ngasebhokisini bekhuluma nawe bebhala izinto ukuthi ubatshela zona ukuthi batshele inkantolo.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my lord.
And then occasionally you also raise your hands and then correct them.
Bese kuba nezinye inkathi naye ukuthi unokuphakamisa isandla bese ubatshela ukuthi lento bayikhulumile akusilona akuyona indlela ekwade ubatshele ukuthi bayisho ngakhona.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo ngeke vela Nkosi enkantolo lokho mina ngiphakamisa isandla ngibiza ubaba uMngomezulu ehlenyo. Kufanele kube nesikhala lapho kuhlonishwa khona Nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my lord, I would not be raising my hand time and again calling Mr. Mngomezulu, as there would be times when I need to respect the court.
So now I'm back to my original question. We're not done.
Uthi uyabuya manje kumbuzo loyana bekade ewubuzile akakaqedi.
And I'm asking you for the last time.
Ukubuzo kokugcina ke manje.
Yebo Nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my lord.
Was put before the AVL report as your version, are you now disputing it and distancing yourself from it?
Uthi manje lento abofakazi batshelwa yona ngaphambi kokuthi kulethwe lo buyabufakazi beAVL. wena usuyaziqhezukisa na kuyo leyo nto abofakazi batshelwe yona.
Nkosi enkantolo angeke ngikwazi ukuphendula into ayibekwa kubaba uMngomezulu.
My Lord, I would not be able to respond on what Mr. Mngomezulu
Ngoba ubaba
was
uMngomezulu
telling
nguye
the witnesses,
ubaba uMngomezulu nguye ozokwazi ukukhuluma nenkosi enkantolo.
as he is the one that would be able to address the court, my Lord.
Okay, I wanted to move on from this point. Was that your story? Let me just leave the issue of version. Was that your story?
Uthi manje lento ubaba uMngomezulu bekayisho kubofakazi bekuyi story sakho na, yinto wena bewumtshele ukuthi atshele abofakazi.
Angeke ngikwazi baba nkosi enkantolo ukuphendula into ekhulunywa ubaba uMngomezulu namanje ngisasho lapho.
I am still maintaining that I will not be able to respond on what was stated by Mr. Mngomezulu, my Lord.
So I can note on my note that you are refusing to answer the question.
This is not an objection. I'm standing here upon the point of fairness. I think the state has made its case. Basically, the state wants this witness to say, that is not what I told Mr. Ngomezulu to go and tell the witnesses. Then he can see he's having some difficulties in saying that no, that version does not come from me. Then the state can then make its own argument about it at the end of it all. But that will be on this point until Jesus comes back. He's having very difficulties, and out of respect of Mr. Ngomezulu to specifically say that did not come from me. Thank you, my Lord.
My Lord, that's a very crucial aspect of this case. And I'm entitled to spend some time, unless I get a concession from the defense of accused 1 and 2, then I'll rest on this point. But in the interest of time, my Lord, I will move on.
Okay.
Now, let us proceed, Mr. Ntanzi.
Uthi qhubeke ke mnumzane Ntanzi.
Yebo nkosi.
Now you are taken back inside the Toyota Fortuner. What happened?
Usoyabuyiselwa ke kuyi Toyota Fortuner bese kwenzakala.
Iphumile nkosi enkantolo imoto khona lapho sasimkhona yahamba ngangayibona ukuthi ihamba phi ke ngoba namanje ngeke ngize ngikhombe ukuthi imoto yahamba la yahamba kuphi ngangayazi ukuthi yakuphi.
The vehicle left the place where we were at. However, I do not know where did it go to, as even now I would not be able to point on which route did that vehicle take.
I don't want to lose you here. Let's go slowly again. We're still on that night.
Uthi umshushisi akafuni ukuthi nilahlekelane khona lapho. Sisakhuluma ngalelo suku.
Sikhuluma nge-18 angithi.
Yes, we are referring to the 18th.
So how did these vehicles leave then? Tell the court from that point.
Ihambe kanjani ke leya moto? Sitshele kusuka lapho.
Angeke ngikwazi nkosi enkantolo ukukhomba indlela mina ngoba indlela ngiyazi mina.
I would not be able to point the directions as I do not know.
Ngayibona imoto isimje lapho yafika yamakhona.
I just saw the vehicle parking where it stopped.
And then you also testified in your own evidence. You indicated before this court that they formed what you called a convoy.
Wena ngobufakazi bakho uye wathi lezi imoto ziyezayenza ziyezalandelelana into le bizwa phecelezi iconvoy.
Yebo nkosi enkantolo zilandelelene behamba iGTI phambili kuyiFortuner phakathi kwi-Nissan ngemuva halibhodi.
Yes, my lord, they did form a convoy. It was a GTI in front, Fortuner in the middle, and the Nissan hard body at the back.
Ukuthi zazi yapha yangizazi nkosi enkantolo.
But on where were they going, I do not know, my lord.
Did they finally reach a destination?
Le moto zigcine sezifikile na endaweni ethize.
Lapho ezafika zamakhona lapho engakhishwa khona emotweni.
That's where they stopped, and that's when I was taken out of the vehicle.
What can you describe that particular destination?
Ake uchaze leyo ndawo ezama kuyo.
Nkosi enkantolo lapho esama khona imoto kunomgwaqo khona zama nje eceleni la imali le ndawo le sasikuya ngibona ukuthi indawo yaye kuphi or phakathi nemizo phakathi kanjani angibona kodwa lapho sasikhona kune stepisi.
My lord, where those vehicles had stopped, it is just, there is a road, and they stood on the side of the road, and there was a stairs.
ngoba mina mabe ngijikisa emveni kwemoto mangiphuma emveni kwemoto ngijika so ngijikela ngalo kwestepisi kwakunyuka itruck le truck kanti le truck alayisha udoti
And just next to the stairs, as I was moved from the vehicle, there was a waste truck that came.
ngijika ngale stepisi mabhena ngimela
And that's when Mabena has instructed me to stand by near the stairs.
ilesi
Okay, yes.
sikhathi ke sengiqhaqha ngapha
That's
lapho
when
engifaswe khona
he had removed the handcuffs on my hands, as the witness is showing them, they were cuffed from the front.
engibopha kulenye insimbi engaphi nalethi ngoba istepisi asiphakathi naphakathi so kimi
And he had cuffed me on the stairs using my left and my right hand, as the stairs was in the middle.
lesi sikhathi esengitshena futhi angifuni namanje ukukhuluma eqiniso be nabo Jonathan obaba ukuthelisa
And that's when he asked me, I'm still not ready to tell the truth, and he was with Jonathan and Buthelezi.
Just one aspect before we get to that place. It was also put to Mokhani for the AVL that at some stage you were taken to an open area, which is a park next to the garage. Did that happen?
Uthi ke buye kwatshelwa uMokhani ukuthi kunesikhathi la ukuthi uye wathathwa wayisiwa epark ngaseduze kwegarage. Kuye kwenzeka lokho?
kosenkantolo mangithi mina imoto ihambile ngangayibona ukuthi ihamba apha angazi uma iphakho le yini ngangiphendula into mina ekhunywa ubaba uMngomezi baba uMngomezi lokwazi ukutshena enkantolo ukuthi lokhu kubizwa yini
My Lord, as I have stated that the vehicle drove and I do not know where it went to, whether was it a park or what, I do not know. Mr. Mngomezulu is the one that knows those places.
It's fine. Let's proceed now. We are in that place which was nicknamed the dumping area.
Uthi ke asiyeke ukule yandawo enikwe igama kuthiwa kula kulahlwa khona izinto.
yebo nkosenkantolo
Yes, my Lord.
From this document, exhibit MM2 and MM1 respectively, this vehicle that you were in, driven by Sergeant Mokhani, and you as the passenger, it did not stop anywhere else other than Guy Gibson Avenue in Aritin when it departed the garage.
Uthi ke umshushisi ukuya ngalo bufakazi abuphethe lobu be-AVL akukho la ukuthi leyo moto iyeyama kule ndawo ewichazayo ngaphandle kwasendaweni ebizwa iGuy Gibson la kuyigarage khona.
kosenkantolo mina ngeke ngikwazi ukuphendulela leto okukhulunywa ngayo ngoba angiyazi ukuthi isebenza kanjani
My Lord, I would not be able to respond on what the AVL is stating because I do not know how it works.
It was put also to you that this vehicle, and it was me who said to you, it stopped at the engine garage near such and such a street. You did not prefer that answer.
Umshushisi uye wakubuza ukuthi le moto iyeyama ngase engine garage emgaqweni ethu othize awuzange umnike le mpendulo omnika yona manje.
kosenkantolo ngiyethemba mina mangiqeda ukuhlukunyezwa egarage phakathi azange ngiphinde ngisabiza indawo ukuthi imoto ifike ngiyibona ihamba endaweni esonke ngithe imoto ngayibona lapha sengikhishiwe imoto lapha yafika amakho ngakhishwa ngajika emveni kwemoto ngaphuma ngapha nganje ngisho azange ngisho ngabona emveni yokuthi sengishayiwe egarage ngiqala ukushaya egarage akaze ngibizi nokuthi isebenza kanjani ukuthi umshushisi angichazela yona angiyazi mina nkosenkantolo.
My Lord, after I was tortured and abused at the garage, I believe I did not mention any area, and even how the AVL works, I do not know how it works, and I never mentioned that the vehicle stopped at such an area. All I said, the vehicle stopped and I was moved towards a stairs, and that's all I had said, my Lord.
And then this court ordered that Mr. Dupree brings to court the AVL records in so that he can demonstrate before this court. And then your advocate was seated right in front there.
Uthi futhi inkantolo iye yathi umnumzana uDupree alethe lobufakazi be-AVL azobubonisa la enkantolo futhi ummeli wakho wayekade ehleli la ebuke umabonakude la.
Inkosi enkantolo angeke ngikwazi ukuphendula baba uMngomezulu. Baba uMngomezulu ngiyathemba ukuthi la phambi kwenkosi enkantolo ukhulumile nenkosi enkantolo ngendlela akhulume ngayo.
My Lord, I would not be able to speak on behalf of Mr. Mngomezulu, as I believe he had stated the way he had spoken to the court.
Just a correction. The court did not order. The state requested for such records. My apologies for that.
Uthumshushisi akusi inkantolo ethe umnumzana uDupree eze bekade kuyibona abashushisi bathe umnumzana uDupree alethe lobufakazi obunjalo lobu kwe-AVL.
Yebo nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my Lord.
So now let's leave Mngomezulu out of this.
Uthi ke asiyeke uMngomezulu kule ndaba.
Let's deal with the objective scientific evidence of the GPS system.
Sigxile kwindaba le elethwe uloyangodi walento ebizwa i-AVL.
Yebo nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, my Lord.
In his evidence, he indicated to this court that said motor vehicle had never stopped anywhere near that area you call the dumping area. The only stop recorded, it was near Guy Gibson Avenue in Aretin.
Yena ungodi uthe imoto ayizange ime kule ndawo le ewena uyibiza ukuthi bakade kulahlwa izibi khona. Uthi yena ungodi ukhulume ukuthi imoto leyana ime nje eGuy Gibson Avenue.
Nkosi enkantolo ngiyaphinda ngithi mina igolani lazi. Nanokuthi imoto yayihamba phela angiyazi nkosi enkantolo. Lapha emakhona angiyazi.
My Lord, I would repeat that I do not know Gauteng. Where was that motor vehicle driving? I do not know, and even where it stopped, I did not know.
Lento okukhulunywa ngale ekhulunywa ngumshushisi angeke ngikwazi ukuyiphendula mina.
And what the state is alluding to, I would not be able to respond to that.
It was evidence, say. It's not what I am speaking. Evidence before this court.
Uthumshishisi akusiyinto eyena ayikhulumayo. Ubufakazi obuze la enkantolo.
Ngiyazwa nkosi enkantolo.
I hear, my Lord.
And as a result, I put it to you that you are fabricating what happened in the so-called dumping area. It is not there.
Uthi umshushisi uyakutshela ukuthi wena uyaziqambela lento ewuthi wena iyenzeke lapha yala kulahlwa khona izibi labe kade kunalesi stepis. Uthi ayizange yenzeke.
Nkosi enkantolo ngiyaphikisana kokusho ngumshushisi nkosi enkantolo ngoba phela yime engangibona uma ngithiwa phuma wehlela ngithi umala ujika endaweni so fela ngisho ukuthi le ndawo ngayibona ngathi indawo olahla ngoba ngabona itruck aliphuma ngeke itruck uthi ngenyuka la endaweni ngathi notshana enyani le imali enyuka ngathi indawo yenyuka izofuna la itruck la dustbin.
My Lord, I am denying what the state is saying, as I am the one who was there, who saw what was happening. And how did it happen that a truck, a waste truck, came about where there was grass and it just appeared? What was that truck going to do there?
Angivumelana lokho akushoyo.
Therefore, I am not in agreement with what the state is saying.
So are you saying now that the fact that this document in my position recorded that at some stage for those hours, as per this document, you were at that particular garage cannot be the truth?
Manje uthi lento ebhalwe kuleya ncwadi leya leye AVL ukuthi kunesikhathi esithize labe nikade nikuleya garage akusilona qiniso.
Ngiyethemba Nkosi enkantolo mina akaze ngikhulume ngesikhathi mina. Lephepha leli ngeke ngilichaza ukuthi yini le. Ngoba angibhalanga yimi angibala ukuthi kubhalo ubani.
I believe, my Lord, I never mentioned anything about time, and even this document, I would not be able to explain it on what it is and what does it refer to, and it was not written by myself, my Lord.
Okay. Let's do this quick. According to this report, at some stage you were at Mali Street near Fairwood Park, which is the garage, engine garage.
Uthi kuya ngale ncwadi le ithi nanikade nise Mali Street ngase Fairwood Park kuleli ya garage engine.
Yebo ngiyamuzwa Nkosi enkantolo.
Yes, I hear that, my Lord.
Do you agree or not agree?
Uyavuma noma awuvumi?
Ngiyethemba Nkosi enkantolo yimi ngitshela Nkosi enkantolo ukuthi imoto yangena egarage lapha phela ngangazi ukuthi indawo uthi kuphi egarage. Yimi ngitshela Nkosi enkantolo ngegarage.
I believe I am the one
Ngomlomo
that
wami.
firstly informed the court about the garage. I just did not know where the area was.
And you know what is interesting? The AVL report supports what you are saying.
Uthi into ukuthi ibalekile ukuthi nale AVL ikhulumisana nalento ewena uyisho. Ivumelana nalento uyisho.
Yebo.
Yes,
Do you agree?
uyavuma.
Angeke ngivume into engabhalanga yimi Nkosi enkantolo mina.
I will not agree with what was not written by me, my Lord.
So what are you agreeing to when you say you agree?
Manje mawuthi uyavuma uvumelana nani?
Ngivuma ukuthi Nkosi enkantolo ngafika egarage namanje ngiyasho phambi Nkosi enkantolo egarage ngangena.
I agree that we had arrived at the garage, my Lord.
Kodwa iphepha lelakhuluma ngalo angilazi mina.
But this document that the state is referring to, I do not know.
Okay, let us proceed.
Uthi asiqhubeke.
Since you don't want to answer, let's proceed. Now, I am putting it to you that they can never stop at anywhere near the place that I do not know, according to this document. Is first time he stopped, it was at Guy Gibson Avenue.
Uthi umshushisi uyakutshela ukuthi le moto ayizange ime kwenye indawo iqale yama lapha la kuthiwa kuseGuy Gibson Avenue.
Kusho yena Nkosi enkantolo mina ngazi.
That is what you are saying. I do not know, my Lord.
This document say.
Uthi akusuyena oyishoyo yile ncwadi le.
And the so-called assaults that were meted out at the so-called dumping area, they are not there. It's fabrication.
Uthi nalokushawa okuthize lokhu okukhulunywa ngakho akuzange kube khona ukuziqambela nje.
Nkosi enkantolo ngiyethemba lapha ngikhuluma into eyenzeka kimi. Wayengekho yena uphethe iphepha leli alitsheniwe. Ukube mhlawumbe wayekhona and ukuba uyathi inhliziyo yami mangiphamba Nkosi enkantolo ebhlungu kanjani noma ngibabona labo obtress babe ngishaya phambi Nkosi enkantolo. Inhliziyo yami ibhlungu. Vele uzokwazi ukukhuluma lama powers awakhulumayo ngoba wayengekho.
My Lord, the state was not there, and I am stating what happened, and I am stating, my Lord, with a painful heart. Even when I see Mr. Buthelezi in court, my heart bleeds because the state was not there.
Even people that were there, such as Sergeant Mukhani, they dispute that, say.
Uthi no Sergeant Mukhani lo bekade ekhona uyakuphika lokho.
Nkosi enkantolo usayitshela umkhani ngeke vele avume phambi Nkosi enkantolo ayitshene ngoba uyazi uma ngavuma lo tole lapha bakhona bomfakela encindezi ngoba usayitshela umkhani akaze angafike ngisho ngibeka isandla ngishilo phansi phambi Nkosi enkantolo umkhani azange ngibeka isandla Nkosi enkantolo.
My Lord, Sergeant Mukhani would not agree with what I am saying because he knows if he agrees then there would be pressure that would be put on him. And I did mention in front, right here in court, that Sergeant Mukhani never assaulted me.
Wayengasondela nokusondela Nkosi enkantolo.
He was not even close by.
So I further put it to you that which you are telling the court today, it is improbable because you cannot be assaulted whilst the car, in a manner that you are describing, whilst the car is in motion.
Uthi lento ewuyishoyo ayikwazeki ukuthi ingayenzeka ngalendlela ewena uyichaza ngakhona ngeke kwazeke ukuthi ushawe imoto ingalendlela bokade uchaza ngayo imoto ilibele ihamba.
Kosenkantolo mina angikwazi uchwepheshwa bemoto kosenkantolo ngoba yena ukhuluma ngephepha mina ngikhuluma ngento eyayenzeka le ngikhuluma ngayo ayenzeka phambi kosenkantolo le yayenzeka kimi.
My Lord, I am not an expert in motor vehicles, and I am mentioning what happened to me, not what is on a document.
My Lord, will this be the opportune time to take the long adjournment? I see it's 5 minutes to 1.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, before we take it away, there's an issue that my learned colleague packed regarding the assault, a slap on the witness by Mohani on the 16th of June. I've got the record in front of me. It's a record of the 7th of November 2023 at page 12. And I will read just at line 9-8. It starts at line 8, page 12, and it's Mr. Mgomezulu asking Sergeant Mohani. And he says, "Sir, it is for this court to tell whether he's talking lies or the truth, but let us move on. You can use whatever weight, how you use it. It is fine. The version of the accused is that when he requested you to produce the appointment certificate, Sergeant Mabena slapped him with an open hand in the face and he said, 'You think you are smart.'"
Mr. Slande, what's your response?
I have noted that point. I'll get to it, my Lord. I've seen that relevant portion that my colleague has reference to.
You'll address it.
I will address it.
Okay, he says he'll address it.